Hi, welcome to our Heart of America round. We're going to do this one in a 16-inch, and then I'm going to show you a smaller version as well. I have previously painted the red and white stripes star, the navy border, as well as the words. I'm going to do the background here as well as the circle in a lighter blue in the exact same method. So let me just take that out of the way. We will swap this out for a finished background here in just a minute. So we are going to use our dauber. You can use the side of a foam brush. You can use one of those makeup wedges. I highly recommend doing this instead of a paintbrush. We always go up and down with thin coats of paint. You can always do a second coat, but it's an awful lot more work to try and remove too much paint or clean the edges if you have to. So highly recommend. It's not dripping with paint. It's just a thin, gentle up and down motion. The harder you push, the more you're gonna force down over the edges. So we just try and do a nice gentle tapping motion. I'm gonna do the same thing with my round. So while I do this, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about gluing. We include the tube of super glue with your kit. If super glue makes you nervous, you can always use regular white glue or even probably some type of wood glue. You just might need to let it sit and dry for a little bit longer because it will need more length of time to have a permanent bond. Whereas the super glue usually sticks pretty quickly. Sometimes it sticks too fast in a spot where you didn't necessarily want it to be, but you could use a little chisel and pop it off and re-glue it. Be careful as you open up your tubes of super glue so that you don't get it squirted onto your fingers. I use bottles of Loctite professional super glue. It's a lot more expensive, but if you do quite a few kits, you might want to invest yourself in that versus using the smaller tubes because it does have a longer nozzle. So we are almost done here with our blue coat. I am going to add a little bit of white over top of this. My blue's gonna be wet for a little while. I like to blend and mix whenever my colors are wet. It's a whole lot easier to get ombre looks or shading if your colors are wet. So I've got a good coverage of blue on here, and I'm just gonna grab a little bit of white and I'm going to just kind of add it on there. Now that's definitely noticeable. So I'm gonna go back and get a little more blue and sort of just do some blending. Kind of almost gives you a sky cloudy appearance, which I kind of liked. My smaller sample, I did this to almost by accident because I grabbed the wrong sponge, but I like the effect. So we are going to continue that with this piece. So just a little bit of white. I'm just plopping some along here. People often ask me like, oh, you know, how'd you do that? And I could never do that. Sure you can. This is easy. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm literally grabbing some paint and plopping it on there. So I think it's the gentle motion. It's that up and down motion. Sometimes I give my sponge a little twist just to sort of like blend it, but I'm not making a stroke. Sometimes when you go back and forth like that, you actually see, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, you can like see the lines. I don't want to see those lines. I just want to have a little bit of different coloration. So just plopping some white on here, back and forth, up and down a few different times, twisty if you want to do a little twist motion, and you will get a nice effect. Okay, So let me bring in my background. I previously painted one. I just did 2 coats of white on this. You can do it with a foam brush, with a chip brush. If you have a roller, that works super fast and easy and gives you a nice, soft, solid coverage. So I will be gluing this into place here. Just want to make sure your margins around the edge are equal. We've got our frame for our heart, our America word, and then your pieces of your flag. You want to pay attention to how it all goes together before you start gluing, because you want to make sure that you don't have one kind of tilted, and then once you get to the next piece, they don't fit together right. Like for instance, this top part. If I'm off a little bit, then I might have trouble getting my stripes to line up later. Let me show you here. Like so. If I glued this, I get down here and this isn't gonna fit. So you want to get it in there and kind of make sure it's all in the right place. Get those taken care of. So I could pick this one up, glue it in here, put it back, and so forth. Then I can put in my blue field, which it's still wet, and add in my star. Okay, so I can get that all glued together. I am gonna do a bow for this one that will fit right here once it's dry. I do have a bow making video where we use greenery. For this particular one, we're just using ribbon and tulle. I'm going to do my ribbon the same as I always do, kind of have it in a S or a Z shape, and I pinch the middles. The pinch is the important part because that is what's going to give some dimension to your bow versus laying flat. I usually just do this way. If you need to, you could have a friend help you out there. Again, pinch the middle of all 3 sections. That gives you your fluffiness to it. Just gonna stuck that in there and grab one more. So pinch, pinch, and pinch. So now I have all my bow. I'm going to lay down my pieces of tulle. I'm just going to bring that around where I have my pinches. Give it a nice tight tug. There's 2 layers here. I'm going to take one on each side and make a bow. Let's take the other piece on each side, make a bow. And then all I need to do is some fluffing with all my pieces. This is super lightweight, so I should be able to super glue it onto my round, no problem. If you wanted to, you could use a staple gun. I'm going to bring this back here. It is still wet. However, when it's dry, I'm going to add it right up here. I don't want to cover up my word, so I'm going to be putting it just on the top edge of my piece. You could put it at the bottom if you so desired. Completely up to you, whatever look you're going for. I could probably even go there. We do have a smaller version. We didn't do a bow for the smaller one. This would be a cute leaner for on your mantle, or, you know, anywhere in your decor. You could, it's super lightweight too. This one is on the 1/4 inch wood. You could command strip it up. This one is done on our thicker round, and it will also come with the hanging mechanism. We do these on all our hanging rounds. You simply super glue this to the back top of your piece and tie it to the length that you want this to be. So super quick and easy. Once this is dry, I'll get it all glued together. And I love this one. Thank you.